They told me I was too late, too poor, too inexperienced. Every door I knocked on slammed shut in my face. And yet today, I walk through doors others are still dreaming about. What changed? Not my background, not my luck. I discovered a formula, one that doesn't care where you start, only how hungry you are to finish. This is the same 5-part formula that turned rejection into respect and failure into fortune. And today, I'm giving you the blueprint. Most people chase the spotlight. They see the prize, the fame, the lifestyle, and they want it. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit the prize doesn't belong to the one who desires it the most. It belongs to the one who solves the biggest problem. Success is not a reward for wanting more. It's a reward for doing more for others. And the only way to do more for others is to obsess over the problem they are struggling with. When I started, I didn't have money, I didn't have connections, but I had one thing, a deep obsession with solving a very real problem. I looked around and saw what nobody else wanted to fix. While others were daydreaming about becoming rich, I was asking myself, what is broken that I can fix better than anyone else? That one question became my engine. I wasn't motivated by the prize at the end. I was driven by the problem in front of me. You see, the problem is the path. If you chase money, you'll give up when it gets hard. But if you chase purpose, money will eventually chase you. Obsession with the problem gives you staying power. It forces you to understand your audience better, to innovate when others are quitting, to show up when it's uncomfortable. Why? Because you're not just chasing something, you're solving something. Think of every great company, every inspiring entrepreneur, every legacy behind it is a deep obsession with one problem. Transportation was a problem, someone solved it. Communication was a problem, someone solved it. Convenience, access, education, speed, efficiency, someone took the pain of others personally and said, I can fix this. That's the mindset you need. Don't start your journey thinking, what will I get? Start it by asking, what will I solve? When you do that, you'll begin to see opportunities others overlook. While they focus on what they'll gain, you focus on how you'll help. And that difference will make all the difference. Obsession over a problem also keeps your ego in check. It keeps you learning, growing, adjusting. The person chasing a prize will protect their image. The person solving a problem will protect their mission. One is driven by pride, the other by impact. And only one survives the real challenges that come in the middle of every success story. So if you want ultimate success, stop chasing trophies and start chasing trouble. Find a problem that breaks your heart, that keeps you up at night, that makes you ask, why hasn't anyone fixed this yet? Then give your time, your energy, and your creativity to solving it. The prize, that will come, but you won't even care about it when it does, because your purpose will be bigger than any reward. Success belongs to problem solvers, not prize chasers. Obsess over the pain in the world, and you'll soon be the one the world rewards. One of the biggest traps people fall into is waiting. Waiting for the right investor, waiting for more education, waiting for better timing, more money, a bigger opportunity. They convince themselves that they can't begin until they have everything. But here's the brutal truth. You will never have everything when you start. And that's not a curse. That's the greatest gift. Because the most unstoppable people in the world never waited. They started with what they had, no matter how little. I began with nothing, not just financially, emotionally, and mentally too. I didn't speak perfect English. I had no backing, no funding, but I had the power of movement. I had the courage to begin. While others were preparing, I was practicing. While others were dreaming, I was building. I didn't ask, what do I need to start? I asked, what can I do right now with what I already have? And that question changed everything. The reason people fail is not because they don't have enough, it's because they don't use what they already have. Maybe you have time, maybe you have energy, maybe you know something others don't, maybe you have one relationship, one device, one insight, but if you don't use that, you'll be stuck forever in the cycle of almost. The truth is, people don't respect what they have until they see someone else build something massive with less? How many times do we say, I had that idea, but someone else took it and turned it into an empire because they started? It wasn't the idea that was special. It was the decision to take action without waiting for everything to be perfect. When you start with what you have, you develop a kind of resilience that no money can buy. You learn to stretch, to improvise, to innovate. You learn to make one tool do the job of 5. You become stronger than the person who started with all the resources, because while they were comfortable, you were growing. While they were delegating, you were learning. And by the time they run into their first real obstacle, you've already fought through 20. Success doesn't require perfection. It requires progress. And progress only comes when you stop fantasizing about what you want and start using what's already in your hands. You think the camera isn't good enough? Use it. You think your idea isn't big enough? Launch it. You think your skills aren't polished enough? Practice in public. The best don't wait to feel ready. They become ready by doing. Here's what happens when you start with what you have. People begin to notice. Not because you're flashy, but because you're bold. The world respects action. The universe responds to motion. The right people, the right partners, the right investors, they come to those who are already in movement. Nobody wants to bet on someone still stuck at the starting line, waiting for the perfect shoes. The moment you use what you have, you unlock creativity. Constraints force invention. When you don't have money, you learn to be resourceful. When you don't have people, you learn to build relationships. When you don't have experience, you learn to outwork, outlisten, and outlearn everyone in the room. And eventually, you stop needing more, because you become more. Everyone who built something legendary started with something ordinary. A borrowed laptop, a second-hand phone, a kitchen table, an internet connection, a painful story, a vision no one else believed in. But they didn't wait for more. They started with what they had and they grew it, step by step, day by day. Don't waste another year waiting to be ready. Don't use the excuse that you don't have enough. You do. You have time, breath, and a reason. You have at least one strength someone else needs. And if you use it well, it will multiply. Start with what you have, then show the world what's possible when someone refuses to wait. People fear failure as if it's a final sentence, as if one rejection or one mistake means the end. But that fear is misplaced. Failure is not the enemy. It is the tuition you pay for greatness. The difference between those who succeed and those who vanish is not talent, intelligence, or even luck. It's how they respond to failure. The fastest way to success is not to avoid failure, it's to grow through it faster than everyone else who gives up. Let's be honest, failure hurts. It can shake your confidence, make you question your path, and leave you feeling like you're not enough. But it is also the moment the real training begins. When everything is going right, you learn nothing. You grow little, but when things fall apart, that's when your mind opens, your creativity kicks in, and your will is tested. Most people see failure as a wall, but the ones who win, they see it as a mirror. They ask, what is this teaching me? Every successful person has a graveyard of failures behind them. Not one or two, but dozens. Products that didn't sell, pitches that were laughed at, business deals that collapsed, interviews that ended with a no, but they didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. They used it like a blade, sharpening their skill, focus, and discipline every time they got cut. You must understand, failure is feedback. That's all. It's the universe saying, not this way. Try another. It's not a signal to stop. It's a signal to adjust. But the problem is, most people internalize failure. They think it means they are a failure. So they retreat, hide, and settle. They don't just give up on the goal. They give up on themselves. That's the real tragedy. The key is P. Grow through failure faster than the world expects. While others are sulking, you should be studying. While they are drowning in self-pity, you should be analyzing, correcting, and trying again. If you fail 5 times and quit, you lose. But if you fail 5 times and improve each time, your 6th attempt becomes legendary. The faster you rise after each fall, the more unstoppable you become. Do you know why some people become leaders in their field? Because they simply didn't stop. They showed up again after each defeat. Not with the same strategy, but with a better one. Not with the same mindset, but with a wiser one. They refused to be defined by their lowest moments. Instead, they used those moments to rise. And here's a truth most won't tell you. Success feels empty if you've never failed. You won't appreciate it. You won't understand it. You won't be able to sustain it. Failure gives you roots. It makes you humble. It teaches you empathy. It builds grit. And when the spotlight finally shines on you, it won't blind you because you've already walked through the darkness. Think of failure like a gym for your character. Every time something goes wrong, you're lifting weight, emotional weight, strategic weight, patience weight. And just like a body gets stronger through resistance, so does your spirit. The more you fail and learn, the more dangerous you become, not in a reckless way, but in a resilient way. You become the one who doesn't panic under pressure, the one who doesn't crumble at criticism, the one who doesn't flee at the first sign of loss. But growth doesn't happen just by failing. It happens when you choose to look at that failure with curiosity, not judgment. Ask questions. Why didn't this work? What was I blind to? What can I do differently? Then apply the lesson immediately. Action locks in the lesson. Thinking about it is good. Writing about it is smart. But acting on it, that's where the power is. One of the secrets to winning is to make failure boring. Yes, boring. Make it so normal that it no longer stings. Treat it like data. Remove the drama. The faster you normalize it, the faster you move forward. High performers fail all the time, but they don't make a big deal about it. They fix the leak and keep sailing. Remember, most people will quit after one failure. Some might try again and quit after the second. But very few make it to the 10th, 20th, or 50th round. If you can keep improving after each blow, you eliminate the competition just by surviving. And one day when people ask how you became an overnight success, you'll smile because you'll know you failed more times than they ever even tried. So, here's your job. Fall, then rise, learn, then try again. Grow so fast through your failures that the world can't keep up with your comeback. Let them watch you stumble because they won't be able to ignore you when you soar. When people start out in business or any form of competition, their first instinct is to lower the price. Make it cheaper, offer more for less. Cut themselves down just to get attention. But this is the fastest road to burnout and invisibility. Because no matter how low you go, someone else will always go lower. If your only advantage is price, you don't have a business. You have a countdown to irrelevance. The true key to winning isn't to compete on price, it's to compete on purpose. Purpose creates gravity. It pulls people toward you. People don't just want cheap, they want meaning. They want connection. They want to feel something. And if your work, your message, your product doesn't give them that, then even if it's free, it will still feel expensive. Price is forgotten. Purpose is remembered. You must give people a reason to choose you that goes beyond money. When you compete on purpose, you attract loyalty. Customers become fans. Viewers become followers. Clients become believers. And believers will stay with you even when someone else offers a discount. Because now it's not about the transaction, it's about the transformation. You are not just giving them a thing, you are giving them a feeling, a mission, a vision they can see themselves inside. But here's a catch. You must be clear about your own purpose first. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why does it matter? Who are you trying to help? And what problem are you solving that the world has ignored? If you don't know the answer to those questions, you'll fall into the trap of copying others, chasing trends, and discounting yourself to be competitive. But you don't win by blending in. You win by standing out. Look at the brands, leaders, or movements that have created revolutions. They didn't offer the cheapest. They offered the deepest. They didn't aim to fit in. They aimed to change something. They had a point of view, a heartbeat, and people could feel it. That is what purpose does. It makes your message magnetic. It makes your work unforgettable. It gives people a reason to share what you do without you having to beg. The truth is, you don't need to be the best in the world. You need to be the most real in your space. People will choose you not because you're perfect, but because you're passionate, because you actually care, because they sense that behind every product, post, video, or service, there's a real human being who is trying to make something better, not just make money. Now, let's get practical. Competing on purpose means you focus more on value than price. Ask yourself, how can I serve better? How can I explain my mission more clearly? How can I make people feel seen, heard, and understood through my work? Don't race to the bottom, rise to the top by being bold enough to say, I'm not for everyone, but for the right people, I'm everything. When you compete on purpose, you also attract better partners, better team members, and better opportunities. People are drawn to clarity. Investors want more than profits. They want impact. Customers want more than speed. They want soul. Even in content creation, people don't just want quick tips. They want transformation. If you carry that energy of purpose into everything you do, you become undeniable. Let others fight over pennies. Let others cut their prices and shrink their worth. You focus on building something so meaningful, so needed, that people gladly pay for it because they know it's not just a product, it's a solution. Not just content, it's a calling. That kind of business, that kind of mission can't be copied, and it never goes out of style. And here's something powerful. When you lead with purpose, price becomes a footnote. People don't ask, why is it so expensive? They ask, when can I start? Because purpose communicates value before a word is even spoken. It makes the decision feel like destiny, not a discount. That's the position you want to be in, where you are chosen not because you're cheap, but because you're clear. Remember this, your purpose is your power, it is your brand, it is your marketing, it is your message. And in a world flooded with options, the only way to rise is to mean something. Be the one who believes in something bigger than profit. Be the one who makes people believe in themselves again. You'll never have to lower your price when you raise your purpose. And once people feel that you stand for more than just sales, you will never run out of clients, followers, or momentum. So don't chase low prices. Don't water yourself down. Stand firm. Speak clearly. Serve deeply, and let your purpose make the noise that price never could.